Pacquiao's camp or yes men too.
Just surrounded by a bunch of yes men in boxing.
When you make millions, everybody's yes. That's what I tell you. I don't like to hang out with yes people.
When he told Dan Rafael.
You know what you looking for.
Um.
Hell yeah, I feel like I won, Dan. Man, you got your ass beat, bitch. Man, you got your ass beat. You got your ass beat. AB stand for ass beat, bitch. You got your ass beat, bitch. You got your ass beat. You got your ass beat. AB stand for ass beat.
That's a sick beat.
Boy, you got your ass beat. You ain't really fight at all if you ask me.
Oh my God.
All that gang shit last week. Almost got your ass knocked into the last
Bars. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in my LA Marathon playlist for sure.
Pump.
Oh my god. Fuck that.
Put that on God in them, man. You going to hell. That nigga Pacquiao was throwing them bitches fast as hell. Either that or you just really out here ass as hell. Hey, me, man, you do a lot of talking, dog. I ain't even hear that nigga Manny talk at all. I'm just mad that you sit up here and lost a dog. But we all take them L's, nigga, walk it off. Man, you got your ass beat, bitch. Man, you got your ass beat. You got your ass beat.
No, that's the hood's response.
God damn. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Episode 20.
Ready?
Episode 20. You got your ass beat.
Dude, that was the hood's response to AB's loss. And dude, that I heard that in my car on full blast.
Oh, you did?
Against the ropes, number one.
This is Antonio Montano Morales. You're now tuned in to Against the Ropes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Against the Ropes. I am Joe Garcia. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda, Christian Rodriguez, and Lily. This is episode 20 of Against the Ropes. How are we doing today?
Man, doing good, man. A lot of things developing in the boxing world.
Well,
I'm
you got
excited.
your ass beat.
All of a
You
sudden.
got your ass beat. If I say that randomly throughout the show, like, excuse me,
It's
because it's
just
kind
your
of catchy.
mind,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
It
kind
is
of catchy.
Your mind already got
Yeah.
used to it.
It's hella catchy.
That's a good song, man. Bars. I'll play it at the end, too. But do you guys want to get started with any last words on Adrien Broner and Pacquiao? I know they released the epilogue. I know there's another big welterweight fight. There's a potential matchup there. So any last words for AB?
For me, it's
Besides you got your ass beat?
he got his ass beat. But let me just echo something I've said throughout the week. You can be a winner in defeat. You can be a winner in defeat. And
Josecito Lopez, right?
exactly, Josecito Inoue, like, dude, Broner, watch those fights, man. Like, shit, man. You're gonna lose with some fucking balls, dude, man. Come on.
Well, those fights were closer, way closer than Manny versus Broner, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there's ways. I mean, yeah, you're probably not gonna beat Pacquiao, but man, you could have made it some
At
sort of
least
competitive.
Let your hands go.
You
Yeah.
weren't here last week. Get your shit off.
It's too early to want to throw my shoe at you. Relax.
No, you don't want to go off on AB?
Yeah.
I just
Well, thanks for
thought-
hosting the fight, by the way. Thanks for the beer. Thanks for the food.
Oh, you're
It was
welcome.
bomb. It was kind of spicy, but
Just I guess like Chris said earlier, before the podcast started, I was wondering why he was acting like that. Why he was like, "Yeah, I won," and I was like curious to see how his team was gonna respond to it. And in the epilogue, we see them like reassuring him every round that he won. He kept asking, "I won that round,
Yeah.
right?" They're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I won that shit." And none of them say anything to him, and that's the shit that. How do you expect your team to make sure that you get better if they're just yes men or they're just, agreeing with you and reassuring you of shit that you want to hear,
Yeah.
not the truth. So that's the only thing I want to leave off. Like, god damn,
Yeah, you
that
should.
sucks.
Yeah, the only thing I'll take away is watch the epilogue where there was an interesting altercation between Mayweather and Adrien Broner. You saw it?
Oh yeah, and he's like, yeah,
You
go
saw
get
that?
your money. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go beat his ass again. And he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna fight him. Mayweather's like, I'm not gonna fight him, but just
Yeah, they both got together and Mayweather was trying to congratulate Broner, but Broner was like, "Nah, he's just trying to walk it off."
It's like, go get your money type. Oh, okay, I see.
He's like, go beat his ass again.
And he's pretty new with that coach, right? Isn't his coach like a no nonsense type of guy supposedly?
It was just his dad there now.
With the Laker
The
hat,
same
right?
guy it was his dad. The other one, the one that's brushing his hair.
The Laker hat.
Oh, that's not his usual trainer, no.
Yeah. Even his dad during the epilogue was like, he's not listening.
Yeah.
The thing,
He's the only one that kept saying that. Like, why is he not listening?
the thing with Broner is that every time he fights, he has two fights. One is to make weight, and then two is to let his hands go. And he doesn't do both of them. That's the thing with Adrien Broner. He keeps it consistent with us. And the fact that he had a new trainer in this case, like being able to be disciplined. Yeah, I'm like, that's the only Adrien Broner we're going to get from here from now on.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not really excited to see him. And I think we made some points last week. Like, unless he's like, he has to be like on the undercard or something to
Put him
kind of
against
spice
Victor
it up.
Ortiz, like from jail pay-per-view. No, I'm just kidding.
How soon do we want to see Adrien Broner?
I don't think we care.
Yeah.
I don't think it even matters anymore. We're going to continue to see him because he sells, but in the undercards, I wouldn't mind.
I was telling these guys, because I saw it at the movie theaters, and everybody were introduced to Adrien Broner.
Really?
Yeah, everybody was.
So people were there for Manny, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, but a lot of people weren't aware of who Adrien Broner was
That's
until this
crazy.
fight. So, like, for them to see Adrien Broner, and we'll get to it when we talk about Josito Lopez, because, like, that's the thing that brings, when you're a pay-per-view star, right, you're introduced to the mainstream audience, or when you're in the mainstream television, you're introduced to the mainstream audience and the TVs, right? But all that creates sponsorships, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously you're going to make purse bids from that money, but that's what Adrien Broner wins. Even though people are going to like him or hate him, that creates money in some way. You just got to be smart about it. In this case, create shirts, right, that says "On God" in them and other stuff.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
God damn. It was the title for last podcast, too. All right, well, my last words is, boy, you got your ass beat. But other than that, let's get into that welterweight fight between Keith Thurman and Josecito Lopez. Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. It was on regular Fox, and it was a good fight, finally, right,
Yeah.
from
It was
PBC.
a great
Good fight,
fight.
yeah.
Oh, my God. That shit had you at the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rounds. That was great.
I was in Vegas, actually. There's no DAZN in the Las Vegas rooms, obviously, so I got
You
to
didn't
see
brought
it.
your fire stick?
No, but that shit woke me up, man.
Yeah.
I was laying down on the couch. I was like, damn. From the beginning, right? From the knockdown of Keith Thurman, that short left to Josecito.
You could tell it was like just a quick stun. Like he stunned
Yeah.
him. It wasn't like he wasn't hurt or he wasn't going to be wobbly after. You could tell it was just like, you're going to be stunned real quick. And then.
I think that's part of the ring rust, too. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't really
definitely.
expect Thurman to finish him off right away.
I know this was like not a common thing, but I actually wanted Thurman to go 12 rounds because the media was going to eat him alive anyway. If he knocked out Josecito right
Too
away,
soon,
they would have
yeah.
just been like, oh, well, it's just Josecito Lopez. If he would have gone to 12 rounds, they're still going to talk shit, but at least he needs rounds. It's ring rust, and to get better, he does need more rounds. So I knew people were going to talk shit regardless. So
Exactly.
just go to 12 rounds, please.
But the thing is, like, he was in a catch-22 from the beginning of this fight. One, if you fight, you obviously need the rounds, right? But if you go to the rounds, something like round 7 could happen to you.
But I think this is the perfect fight for him to get stunned because
and he has a
Josecito
good
doesn't have
chin. Yeah,
Josecito
Josecito
doesn't have a lot of power.
and
Yeah.
he has a good chin
So if
as
you
well.
want to get stunned at the beginning of the round and survive, a guy like Josecito is perfect for you, all right?
But he could have ended that fight in the second round. That's what I'm trying to say. So he could have finished the fight in the second round, right? But that's what happens if you don't finish the fight. If you don't finish the fight in the second round, something like the round 7 could happen. So that's the thing. If he would have finished him up early, then the whole media would have been, oh, you see,
On him,
you're
yeah.
good to go, fight such and such, right?
Yeah.
But going to round 7, now there's a lot of doubts right now. You have Manny Pacquiao's camp. Oh, we want Keith Thurman right now. A lot of people are just shaking their lobs right now because
Right.
Keith Thurman looks like a salvage guy right now.
He does. That's like the perfect word to describe him, I think.
Yeah.
And it sucks because injuries are no joke. But at the same time, his marriage, the injuries were an inconvenience, and like at that age, like at his prime, because he was like I believe he wasted his
22
best
months.
years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he didn't take a whole. Yeah, it was like a year, right? March was the last
22
time.
months
Yeah.
March was the last time he fought. Last March
against Garcia.
against Garcia,
Mhm.
right? So it's like you lost. You could have continued to be at the top and keep getting these badass fights, but now, like you said, it's like damaged goods.
That's why I feel like
basically.
emotionally, mentally, he's kind of messed up. Because that could have been his. Because we all
Yeah.
had an idea after Mayweather and Pacquiao that Keith Thurman
Yes.
was that guy at the welterweight.
Yes. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I wanted to see him against Mayweather pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like instead of Berto, I wish he would have chosen
Yeah.
someone like Keith, because even if he would have lost, I'm pretty sure that would have been a nice fight
Yeah.
to learn from as well.
That's
So-
why, like in January, I started watching the fights of Porter versus Thurman, Thurman versus Garcia, and when I saw that first round against Lopez, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, right now I don't think he beats Porter even, because
Hmm.
Porter was like a really close
I don't
fight.
think anybody beats Porter right now.
I love Porter right now.
he's
But-
gonna be in a good fight soon. So
But did you see that Garcia tweeted after like, oh, rematch? I'm like, boy, shut the fuck
again,
up. Like,
everybody's
you
licking their
already-
chops right
Like,
Yeah,
now.
please,
right
but
now.
please, you
Yeah.
give a chance to like somebody else to beat him. You already lost. Please, like, stay in your lane.
One thing that
So
caught me
salty.
surprised was he says that he's gonna come back later on
Mm.
instead of like, oh, right away, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
I think at least
What are we
he's
talking about?
giving
Thurman.
he's giving the media a realistic,
yeah,
Where he's
you
at.
know,
Exactly.
so that way they're not like pressuring him, because he
Yeah.
made it fucking clear to everybody, like, I'm still working on myself. He's still gonna build himself back up to what he was. It's just ring rust, and I do believe that. And injuries, like I said, is no joke, but it just sucks that he really did waste
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
time.
I think-
well, not waste, but
I think you give
it's
him
just
like 2 more
unfortunate.
fights. I think he'll be back to the top because
But
he's still gonna
who
get
are you
stronger.
put him against now?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Another guy like
Someone that's
Josecito.
not someone that's not a
AB,
threat.
dog. AB, fuck it. No, but I think he still has to build that muscle back. He still has to build that resistance back, because, you know, I think if he had that continuation, if he didn't take the long layoff, I don't know if he gets hurt against Josecito.
well, I mean that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing. Come on. Thurman from 2016 against Josecito. Let's be fucking honest. And it's not like Thurman was knocking guys out anymore after, you know, even
Yeah.
in his last fights, but he was still winning pretty decisively.
you want to say
know?
anything, Chris?
I was gonna like talk good about Josecito, man, because he
Oh,
made
yeah.
Hell yeah.
he made it a fight, man.
He
He kept
definitely-
coming every single round.
Fuck.
One thing I did mention last podcast was Garcia in his corner.
Yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna
Garcia did very good,
Yeah, and
because that was weird, because Keith Thurman kept rotating to Josecito's right, and he
Mhm.
kept eating that straight right.
yeah,
And you could hear Robert saying, like, once he kind of had him against the ropes, and then he was rotating towards right, you could tell Robert, like, saying, like, ay, like,
I
and
love
that's when he was
hearing him.
attacking.
I love
That's
it.
when he was attacking.
yeah.
Garcia has a really, really good way of getting his fighters to come up after they've been
Yeah.
dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has a
Yeah.
really good way of making them adjust literally in the next round.
Yeah,
After they've
I
been
agree.
after they suffered, you know, they tasted the canvas. And I think that speaks a lot on him as a trainer, you know, because
Yeah.
not a lot of people come back from being dropped, because even though if it wasn't, they weren't hurt, they're scared now that they're
Yeah.
gonna get dropped again.
And
And I
this one
think
kept coming forward.
Mhm.
that was like literally
Relentless.
Mexican warrior style.
Yeah, and Garcia was getting a lot of heat and props for, you know, this weekend he had his daughter's quinceañera. And so
Oh, yeah.
he, you know, he did the sacrifice to be there for Josecito. And
But I think
He-
it was worth it.
yeah, no, he,
You know?
yeah, I actually, you know, when I went to the gym yesterday, I told him that. I was like, hey, man, like, that was a good showing by Josecito. You guys almost had him. And he's like, yeah, we almost did, man. He's like, that's seventh almost.
Now, did you guys think Josecito would finish him
No.
at any point?
No.
I didn't.
Well,
honestly.
I didn't.
Even though he did look hurt, I was like, nah.
like, I didn't, but Thurman kept having his hands down. I'm like, bro, put him up
That's
at
what
least
I
or
didn't
clinch.
understand. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are your hands down the whole time? I swear I was yelling at the
I
TV
think that's
like,
part of the ring rust.
put your fucking hands
Yeah.
up,
'Cause
bro.
he hasn't
but you
been
think
punched
that'd
in
be like
2 years.
natural reflex.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's
You
what-
know, like
yeah.
just a reflex
Yeah,
to just, you know, fucking
I
put
think
your
he
hands
was
up.
like literally stunned. Like, you haven't been punched for 2 years,
You're right.
and then you get punched, and he's just like,
That's a really
yo,
good
what the
point, yeah.
hell? And he's just
And
backing
his
away.
face was
Yeah.
like, yo, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
and
You
it
know?
looked like he had no reaction.
Yeah.
With Josecito, I think like Chris was saying earlier about Broner, how he created this audience who now sees him as like a villain and might tune in later just because they want to see it get knocked out. I think it's the opposite for Josecito. Even though most people are like, oh well, whatever, it's like a Rusty
his, like,
Broner. I'm pretty
7th,
sure
8th
now
loss?
we're gonna want to like see what Josecito has to offer next,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure PBC will probably put him on more notable cards
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
undercards now
Yeah,
after
it
this
always
fight.
helps.
You know, it helped them. I think
It
a
helps
lot.
when you have that type of display and national television, and then when
Mhm.
your middle name is called what?
Rocky, the Riverside Rocky.
Right.
Yeah.
So like all that matches up to me wanting him to fight next, even though we already know the history, not as casual fans, right? Understanding what Lopez is, but for the mainstream audience, they're like, oh, I want to see him fight.
Well, because it's on Fox, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure a lot of casual audience is they're gonna
This
enjoy
guy's
it.
pretty good,
They're gonna
actually.
enjoy it,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I mean. Exactly.
But we see
Yeah.
that at the All-Star boxing fights too. Like we see guys like every other fights who have more losses than wins, but they keep bringing them back because they put on a great show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost, and they put up good fights. It's not someone
Exactly.
that's gonna get demolished.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and they're gonna give their
30
guy, the other guy a
seconds.
test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they keep
And
bringing.
guys who don't quit, Josito's one of them. I
Yeah,
think.
that's why they keep bringing Gabe back. Because Gabe, you always get a good fight out of him. When
Yeah, we'll talk about him later on. But one thing that Gio did acknowledge in the beginning was that for you, Gio, this was a good PBC fight, right? For like kind of like finding.
finally.
yeah,
All right, so interesting that you say that because this fight actually had an average of 1.98 million views. That was like the highest rating during the
Mhm.
show, and it went up to 2.78 million views.
Dang.
And this was the second most watched PBC fight ever. The first one was actually its debut, and this was against Garcia versus Guerrero back in 2016.
Oh my
Mm.
god.
So this is actually good because there's a huge difference between this PBC compared to the other one, because the other one was Al Heyman paying time slots. This
Yeah.
time it's Fox paying,
Paying the slots,
so they
yeah.
want those ratings to go up. So this helps PBC like for the
Yeah.
investment to invest in boxing. So it's all good for them.
Yeah, and the Warriors are playing actually against the Celtics too
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
same time.
That's what I'm. Yeah,
So,
and then the NHL
pretty good.
All-Star game was going on too. So there's a lot of things going on in prime time on Saturday.
Mhm.
Yeah, I caught I wanted to flip back and forth between the Warriors game, but I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is a
exciting.
good fight, man."
Yeah.
I'm sticking to this fight.
Yeah. So, what do you predict as far as who do you want Thurman next?
To fight
Chris?
next?
Yeah,
Mm.
like
The
realistically,
Senator.
realistically.
Yeah, put him against center.
Realistically,
That's
yeah.
a big pay-per-view.
Mhm.
Okay,
It is.
But let me tell you why that's not gonna fucking happen. Okay, y'all listen. Were y'all already listen to
All
this
right.
shit?
Yeah, let's
Give
go.
us the fucking background, insight, info.
There's no insight. It's just not gonna happen because.
Can't hear her anymore. What'd you do to her?
No, she's there.
Go ahead.
Anyway.
I can't hear you no more.
You press something with your.
Lily, you're on 3. 1, 2,
yes.
3.
Yeah.
All right, try now.
Oh man, good. Her mic is off. All right, we can continue. We can continue the show.
1, 2.
All right,
You're on 3.
you fix it, Chris. But Gio, who do you want Thurman to fight?
Ali, try now.
It's tough because I wanted to take
Yeah.
another kind of tuna fight, but then that Pacquiao fight would be good.
Right
So it's difficult. I mean, because, man,
now, let me hear why not.
It's not gonna happen because who do you think wins that fight?
Pacquiao Thurman.
Realistic. Based on their last performances, isn't
I'm
it
not
a
worried
50-50?
about that. Yeah, it's a 50-50
Yeah.
fight.
It doesn't matter who wins that
No,
fight.
no. Okay, it does. Because
Yeah, because if you're
it's not
Thurman and you
50
lose to Pacquiao, it's like,
No,
Yeah.
not
where do you
even
go from
that.
there?
Because they still want to keep Manny marketable. And I'm not saying he's not marketable already, but they want to keep him still marketable to top contenders to be that, what I want to fight that guy. They want to keep him marketable to
Yeah.
champions. So if he loses to Thurman, it's not going to be like Mikey doesn't want to fight him, even though Mikey's not a welterweight. I mean, technically for this next
Wait,
fight.
so
he
who do you? Who
because they want to, they still Manny still wants that fucking Mayweather fight.
do you? Okay, let's say Mayweather's not even in the equation. So
but
who,
but to
okay.
Manny he is. That's why it's not gonna
but
happen because he doesn't want to lose.
In your world, who do you want Manny Pacquiao to fight next then?
Keith, I want the Keith fight, but
not
I'm
gonna happen.
saying it's not gonna happen because he wants to stay marketable.
I think there's a possibility.
enough
Because
to
Manny always
stay-
fights anybody.
And let's
regardless.
be honest, it's gonna whether. It's not the fucking fight boxing needs or wants, but the fucking rematch
Oh, yeah.
between Mayweather, I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen, and that's why
Oh.
there's a reason why fucking Manny went to PBC. Besides, falling off with Bob Arum, there's a
better be,
reason
shit.
why,
Yeah.
and I feel like he can't be that risky fights. They're gonna put him against all the C+ level
So
PBC guys.
you have Thurman beating Manny Pacquiao right now.
I don't know. It's 50 based
That's
on
pretty
both of their
close right
last
now.
performances, both of them. Because yes, Manny looked great and sharp and fast against.
What
Thurman.
about Manny Pacquiao
against-
versus Garcia?
No, I think Garcia beats him.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't even like Garcia. But I'm being realistic.
That's why I want that fight to happen now, because I think both guys physically are not going to be 100% between Pacquiao and Thurman. So it's gonna be more of an even fight.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You'll get an action
Yeah.
fight for that one.
That's why it's a
It's
50-50.
a better
Crowd-pleasing
fight. Crowd pleasing for both casuals and for actual boxing fans. It's a bigger money generating fight. But I'm pretty sure they're just gonna keep feeding Manny like the low tier PBC guys until he gets a fucking fight with Mayweather, or until he gets a bigger money fight.
Yeah,
So he should fight Andre Berto.
That's what Berto. Imagine
Bring back the
imagine
ghost Guerrero.
Josecito
Yeah.
gets it. Imagine Josecito gets the next shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
I wouldn't be mad.
I can see
yeah,
it.
that would be a
mad.
good, good
Right?
match
Yeah.
for Manny.
Yeah.
If I had to pick an opponent for Keith, I think I agree with Gio. He needs like a tune-up, maybe like a kind of like a Jesse Vargas. I don't know if he can
Jesse
fight.
Vargas, okay.
I don't know if they can fight, but that would be a good one. Like,
He's actually. I'll bring it up in random news.
Well, he's
whatever.
with the zone now, right?
oh, is
And
he?
yeah, he's supposedly
been
gonna
with the-
possibly fight Kell Brook.
Well, that's the type of fighter I think Keith needs, and then
Yeah,
you know.
Adrien Broner, dog.
Yeah.
I
Put him
think throw
in
Adrien
Broner.
Broner
yeah,
everywhere.
give
Yeah.
feed him Adrien
Put him
Broner.
in.
Literally.
Feed him to the wolves now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until someone. The thing is, he's a tough guy, so
Yeah.
I don't think anybody besides Maidana now is gonna drop.
No, I think Keith Thurman will be a good investment to have him fight Manny Pacquiao right now because finally everybody knows who Keith Thurman is, right?
Yeah.
A lot of you see the ratings going on as high. Now people will be able to buy that on pay-per-view, right? Because it was Adrien Broner that was trying to sell the fight, being this character outside the ring, but Keith Thurman does it inside the ring, right? He fought this hard fight coming from 22-month layoff, and that's what I'm saying. Either you're outside the character talking that much, or you do it with your fists. And that's what Keith Thurman was doing, right? So now that the people are actually introduced to Keith Thurman, right, in a 1 week's time table from what 1 week fight was Pacquiao and the next one was Keith Thurman. They did it on purpose for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Same thing as why they put it in reason with Mayweather fighting during New Year's Eve. They don't put these matches for no reason. It's all time, and it makes sense. If one doesn't work, the other one will work. So in this case, I see Keith Thurman probably fighting Manny Pacquiao next.
They don't fight next. I say they put them both against like a tuna fight and say the winner is gonna face
Yeah.
each other. Fuck it, build it up more. What do you think, dog? You're over here just smiling and shit.
No, I think yeah, it's a close fight, but I don't think they're gonna. I agree with Lily. I don't think they're gonna put him in with Pacquiao right now. Would love to see that just based on action. That would be a great fight, but
You would pay for it, right?
I would pay for that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm.
I would
That's
probably pay
that's
for
that's
it.
that's the end game,
I don't
dude.
care who's
Yeah.
on the undercard.
People will pay
I
for
mean, we
it.
played Pacquiao.
I just
Yeah,
that
that's
was too
true.
soon right now for Keith. On my part,
Trust me, Keith Thurman will be ready. If they tell him you want Pacquiao next,
if he hadn't
Where's the
if he hadn't
contract?
said like all those injuries, I probably would have. He'd been like, yeah, he's ready, but
no,
he
those.
enumerated all those injuries.
Now we
so-
know that. Now we know that interview was real.
Yeah. Exactly.
But you know, I think this fight is very good for Keith Thurman, that Josecito fight, because that's just like survival mode, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that at some point, like later on in your
Exactly.
career. You're
Yeah.
gonna be able to
Yeah.
get stunned and survive the whole round, probably in a different way.
Mhm.
You know, not just backing up and eating more punches.
Yeah,
but
that reminds me of like that the Wilder with Ortiz, like where you're just hurt, you're
Yes.
in danger, and you gotta have like an elite
Yeah.
level mentality to survive.
That's
Obviously, it was Josecito, but he was injured, so it's
yeah.
I'll
you know.
respect.
But still, yeah, he might be in those moments with the, arrows with the, the other welterweights, the top.
Have you guys
welterweights.
ever seen Josecito fight like this?
No, he's got a little possessed. He was a little
Well, I
possessed.
mean,
Against Victor
it's
Ortiz.
because we talked about this.
Right?
We talked about this last week. What should Lopez do? Yeah, 7 round. That's what he should have done from the beginning, right? When he saw his spot,
Mhm.
hit him with a piñata, man. Just go all out. Go all
But
out.
the thing is,
Yeah.
too,
He got caught
we
coming
haven't
forward
seen
too.
him fight like this because I don't think he, besides, when has he had that opportunity
Yeah,
to
this
be
is a-
like, it's
This is
served on a fucking silver platter.
Yeah.
Like take this
now or
shit
never.
and and you're gonna, if you're not gonna, beat him, at least look good and
good.
give it your fucking all. And I think Josecito did that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He did the best he could, and just fell short.
Yeah, it was a good showing
Yeah.
overall.
Is there anything else you want to take away? Because did you saw the undercard fight, the Washington,
I did not see that
Golovkin?
one, but I saw
the knockout?
I saw like
Like,
what happened.
It hurts like seeing something like that because
Yeah.
me and Chris actually saw Washington train
Mhm.
like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I told him, "Hey, good luck, this and that." And then when you see something like that, like you're devastated
Wait,
because
what happened?
he got knocked out. Gerald
Second-
Washington
second round.
in the second
I
round.
was watching the zone thing too.
Yeah, it was a nasty knockout. But
watching basketball.
that's the thing about like watching, like developing like some sort of
Oh
like
yeah, don't
relationship,
don't do
relationships
it.
and stuff like that.
Don't do that.
no, but that's just what happens in general too.
It's gonna happen.
Just in general, it happens, and then there comes a time when you see a fighter like same thing with Sergio Martinez, like you're devastated because the same thing will happen with Chocolatito. Like you see somebody that you like to see him, but then this is what happens towards the end of the latter stages of a fighter, and
Yeah.
it sucks.
No, I became friends with like some boxers, and then they lost. Like, and I was like,
Never again.
it was really
I don't wanna
sad. Like
watch
me and my
boxing anymore.
friends we and my other friend, we were bummed for days. Like
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like
and it's awkward because they're your friends. So like,
When you
do
got
you
interview.
text them and tell them like, hey?
And this is the difference between boxing and any other sport. You could have soccer next week. Oh, we'll just give it back the next week. Next thing with basketball, back-to-back games. We'll get it back tomorrow. Baseball, every single day, right?
Yeah.
All these other sports has a second chance the next day. And boxing, you never know.
You
It
gotta
could be 6 months or even a year.
Yep.
Depends if you're with Don King, right? But it all comes down how you're managed.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, it's the toll of getting emotionally invested.
Yeah, but it was a good showing for Fox. Way better than what happened in December. But you guys want to talk about Jaime Munguia?
So yeah, no, that fight was. This was like probably like one of the best Saturdays for boxing.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, man. Like
I didn't saw this
action,
fight.
you didn't see this fight?
No.
Action wise, it was. Man.
Oh,
it
you
was a
watched it?
good- Yeah.
Like I said, they don't have the zone in the Las Vegas
Man.
I
hotel room.
watched
So
it.
Fire stick.
Yeah.
You got to put that in your keychain,
Yeah.
something like that.
fuck that.
It is small. So
No, dude, it was a good show. And first, like when you sent us the clip of when Inoue like stepped up to Munguia, I was like, man, they're just trying to
Oh
sell
my
this shit.
God.
Oh, that shit was funny.
that shit
But
was like a show. Bro.
yeah, I was like, this is a show.
Do you remember? I
man.
was keep on telling you, watch wrestling and then you understand boxing.
Yeah.
Prime example.
No, but this guy Inoue, like, damn, he backed him up. Like
He
he
was
was
like your
throwing
typical
Scorecards
him.
were
Japanese
way
fighter?
too wide.
What was that?
He was like your typical Japanese fighter.
Yeah, just coming forward, man.
He had a
coming
chin.
forward. He had a chin.
Yeah, he had a really nice chin, especially because Munguia did land some really heavy rights on him.
Yeah, Munguia landed like most of the clean shots from a distance, but this guy just kept coming, took every shot. He got hit to the body a whole lot. Did you see that, Lily?
Yeah.
How much he got hit? And I'm like, why isn't this guy like taking a knee? That shit's like adding
at
up.
least
to
like
diet.
wobbling or something. Like
Yeah.
at least stunned, nothing. He just came coming forward like some fucking RoboCop or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see him again.
Oh yeah, we'll see him. He's like another Josecito that just like even in losing, he gave a good showing. Like even at first, I was like, why are they calling him a monster? He's not the other in a way.
That
Like why are
shit
they
was
calling?
pissing me
Right.
off. Oh
Right.
my god! I'm
Monster.
like, why are they doing that to Zone?
Yeah.
Stop! Oh, this monster from, and then they said from China first,
Wow.
and I'm like, oh my god! And then later on, like I think someone said on Twitter that the guy apologized after for saying that, but he's like, oh, and they kept saying the monster, and I'm like, that's the. Why would you call him that when you know that's like the other?
That's the other in a way.
You know that's Naoya. Why would you call him the monster? You could call him anything else that you can capitalize his strength or whatever, but why the monster? Shit was pissing me off.
Fucking
The
the
Zone.
zone.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like taking it away from Munguia, I feel like he shouldn't be calling out any champions. No
Yeah.
champions at all. I mean,
Yeah.
no. And at the same time, you gotta think about, yes, we know that he became champion and he's young, and because he took that opportunity that they served him on a platter as well. But at some point, it's like, okay, you need to develop into a better defensive fighter because he has zero defense.
How's his chin?
It's great
Chin
so
is great.
far, so far.
Yeah.
But if you put him against these champions, against Jared Hurd, what's gonna be a Munguia? And it's inevitable that at one point maybe they're gonna be like, hey, unification. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I don't think the WBO is gonna be enforcing any unification other than just his mandatories.
Yeah.
You know, so it's hard. He's a hard topic because at one point you do want unification in that division. Another point is you're like, he can't beat anybody. And then you think
Still
about
young.
also he
Still
needs to
young.
go up
Yeah,
in
he's
weight. You know, maybe he'll be more successful in a bigger weight. But at the same time, you think about, okay, bigger weight, bigger power, no defense. So
Yeah.
he's still, his key to like remain champion or get better fights or even move up, he needs to work on his defense. Like that's just, he needs to do that.
Yeah, he was getting caught a
You
lot
should tell
him that.
against the ropes. He was getting caught a
Just tell
lot.
him when you see him train.
Ya me meto un putazo a mí, what the fuck?
Esa defensa.
Who's your
Yeah.
defense?
Bitch.
I don't think it's you need to tell Jaime Munguia that. I think you need to tell that to their trainers.
Oh no, I think their trainer looks mean. He
Mm.
looks like I don't even make eye contact with him.
Lily, how did you see any improvements in his strength and conditioning?
Well, honestly,
Did he look a little more ripped?
well, he looked like he was backing up too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know what to make of that, honestly, if I'm being honest. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to. I think it was a good fight in a way of pressure. Like, he kept getting pressured into the ropes, and he had to find a way to find his way out. But I just feel like it's defense
Yeah.
that he needs to work on besides strength and conditioning at this point.
Yeah, because Inoue was showing a lot of heart. It was, I feel like it was his heart that was pushing the bigger Munguia back.
Mm-hmm.
Munguia was just like kind of outboxing as he was backing up, but yeah, it didn't
And
look.
again,
It didn't look too good when the little guy's pushing you back. He's what, 5'8".
The scorecards were
Munguia's-
very, very wide. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not saying Munguia didn't win because he won clearly, but
Mhm.
the scorecards were just like,
Made it
God.
seem
Yeah,
easier than
they
it
made it
was.
seem like
I was
they
like-
made it seem like
like
Inoue
he-
wasn't there.
Yeah, like he dominated
Yeah.
completely, and it's like, man.
Yeah,
They gave him
you
pretty
got-
much every round, huh? They gave
Pretty
the other guy
much.
like one round.
Yeah, I'm sure like Lily said he won by UD, but man, you gotta give the other guy some rounds just because of all like he made it that fight. Just give it to-
Charity?
give some-
Give him
Charity
that
rounds?
12th round, huh?
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter anymore.
give him
Charity
like 3
rounds.
4 rounds, just because this guy made it like
Hey, not
event.
that I
Don't
want
be
to
a
change the
judge, Chris.
subject, because I do want to talk about judges, but one quick note on the Thurman versus Lopez. The
114, 114.
not that the judges actually finally had it right on the 7th round. All 3 judges scored at 10-8.
oh really?
Oh,
Yeah.
for real?
Yeah.
I don't think they were going to do that.
Yeah,
I didn't think-
all
I
3
didn't
judges
even
scored at
notice
10-8.
It
Nice.
should have been 10-8.
Yeah,
I was thinking that when it happened, I'm like, there should be a 10-8 round because this
Yeah.
gives Josecito a chance, like, to actually, if he wins, the rest of the rounds to actually win.
yeah. So if
But
anybody,
finally,
if anybody wants to understand what's a 10-8 round, that's a 10-8 round right now. Watch
Yeah.
the 7th round against Thurman and Lopez. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
the best example.
Yeah. Good point there, Chris.
Anything else for Munguia? Because I didn't saw anything about it.
Anything
Did
else?
he knock them down?
No.
No, not at all.
There was a moment where he finally got like a little stunned,
But
and it
still.
seemed like he was gonna take a knee, but he just kept.
Kept coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I had heart.
Well, I'll mention something with him later on. But man, tomorrow is the last day of January. So, what did you learn in January, Chris?
Man, I mean, my quickest takeaway in January is that Pac-Man's still here.
Mm.
Obviously it's AB, but Pac-Man's still here, so
That's it.
I want to see his fights. Oh, and this Super Saturday was dope. This is
Okay.
like a sick Saturday of boxing.
Mm.
So man, that was a good takeaway. Good show for Fox. It's kind of early, but that was probably like fight of the first quarter for me, for sure.
Gio?
Fight up so far.
yeah, it's a good start. Liverpool's still in first place. No,
UK fans.
No, it was a good start, I guess, for boxing. The welterweight division's heating up. I'm glad to see a lot of fights in January. It looked like it was going to be slow on paper, but I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good so far.
True.
What do you think?
Same, like the first weekend of the year, we're like, fuck, what do we do? Like, there's nothing.
Tyson
there's
Fury,
no
come back.
boxing, like, at all. So it was like dry. It was weird. And then I think this weekend made up for it because we got like two different. I mean, you guys didn't see it, but it was nice to have. Even though it was like on my computer on the TV, I'm like, it was really nice.
I would have done that if I was home.
Yeah, it was a really nice card for both of them. Nice stacked cards.
And that's what sometimes happens when you on paper you don't expect them to be good, and then they turn
All
out
of a
better
sudden.
than
Mm-hmm.
what they are. Like when we saw the calendar when we were examining it the
Mhm.
first, like I think the late December, we're like, like we saw Josito Thurman, but we're like, he's
Yeah.
gonna walk through him.
Right.
No, but this is a good fight, man.
I love being
Yeah.
proved wrong.
For real. Yeah.
To me, this shows you why pay-per-view is still alive. Like, at the end of the day, pay-per-view is actually a good tool to use. In this case, if it's like not just Manny Pacquiao, right, but also
Mhm.
Tyson Fury versus Wilder, right? That's a good pay-per-view tool to use in. Sometimes the biggest fights only happen because it's actually in pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But the zone's going to be changing that soon. And then another thing too, I don't think you guys actually mentioned this guy during the time of this month. because I was away in San Francisco. But Devin Haney, he won his fight. This guy actually fought in 2017, 7 fights, went 7-0. In 2018, he won 2 fights. So he's 21-0, 13 knockouts. Reason I'm bringing him up is because he's at 135, and I think a lot of the spotlight comes down to Ryan Garcia, and I get that, but this is a guy that actually defeated Ryan Garcia in the amateurs.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because obviously, as much as we focus on what's happening with the current state of boxing, like Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, and all that, it's always nice to look at what's ahead of the boxing.
Yeah.
So in this case, Devin Haney, you'll see him later on in the future, but he's one to watch for later on.
Yeah, and didn't he call out like some of the top names at 135?
He's been calling a lot, and some of them are ridiculous. So, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
I also learned one last thing. AB is 7-0 in his last 7 fights, but he would be 7-0 if he fought me.
Damn.
It's true.
Bars.
It's true.
We're gonna see him against who? Jim Gray next?
I love those memes, like Jim Gray and like boxing shows.
It's funny.
So, last week Gio brought up we were talking about the zone, whether or not, and they're able to produce a good card, right? And sometimes it's kind of hard to produce a good card unless you have like good matches like Thurman and Lopez. But we weren't actually prepared that. But man, when I was looking at the calendar for this upcoming year, like, dude, I've been anticipating this February 2nd undercard that's coming up, and I'll mention who's in the undercard. That's man. If you have ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus, watch it, dude. All those 4 fights.
That's a great start for Top Rank. Holy shit.
We're going to talk about every single fight because they all have something to say. So the first fight is for the 135 IBF. Who is this? Oh, man. Who's the fighter? Chanib versus, who's the other guy? Do you remember who the other guy is?
I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Well, anyways, it's for the IBF Bacon belt. And 2 of the fighters are going to be fighting for that title. But what's interesting about that fight is because the 135 division, Mikey Garcia has a WBC, the IBF is Bacon, and both the WBO and the WBA belt is Lomachenko. And right now, April 13th, which is April 12th, that's when Lomachenko fights next. So a lot of people are speculating whether or not Lomachenko is going to be fighting the winner.
Oh yeah, that was just said by.
Yeah, but then there's another fighter that just happened this past week. The WBA actually wants Anthony Corolla to fight Lomachenko, and today I'm gonna play this Lomachenko interview. It just came out today. It blew my mind. It's actually him talking, but I'll subtitle the English.
Well, they're asking for for the WBA to let him not fight him so that he goes and fights the winner of the fight on Saturday, actually.
Yeah, so I'll play because it's in Ukraine language, but I'll read you the titles afterwards.
Предпочтительнее, наверное, отбоксировать в один вечер с Антони Кроллой.
He says, I would prefer, I think, to fight Anthony Corolla, and right after that, fight for the IBF. Right after that, one night to hold 2 fights in one night. That would be amazing.
What the fuck? I believe him too, but again, at 135, I feel like the way he's been looking at 135, not that he's not been looking great, but compared to how he looked before, I think he should fucking chill with that 2-fight shit.
So he wouldn't mind fighting the winner of this fight
At the same night.
And then the other guy
He's a
named Anthony
goofball.
Corolla to get out of the way in the same day.
Damn.
I think he could pull it off.
He's such a goofy ball.
So that's huge because if he does try to get that IBF belt, he's able to have 3 belts, and then we can have an undisputed championship fight against Mikey Garcia later towards the end of the future with a pay-per-view fight. And the thing about fights when it comes down to like purse bids, so if Lomachenko does fight Anthony Corolla, the minimum purse bid, like if you're a promoter, you have to at least bid 150,000. So then it goes up and up depending on who you got. And then the third fight is Oscar Valdez versus Scott Quidd. Do you want to talk about it? Because I'm gonna play a little video about it.
Versus
versus
the French guy.
The French guy, yeah. But can you tell us what happened in the previous fight against Oscar Valdez, if you can recall? Because I could play a
that's
video.
actually the first fight I ever covered. It
Really?
was Valdez Quick, and
Then tell us about that
and I was
experience.
ringside even though it was raining because I'm like, I'm not fucking missing this. Quigg broke Valdez's jaw.
Yes.
Oh,
But Valdez, even in sparring, when he used to be here at Legends, and I used to see him like every fucking week, even in sparring, when he's doing mitt work, he screams when he throws punches. That's not a good thing. He screams like as he throws a punch, like that leaves your mouth open.
Yeah.
He also broke Scott Quigg's nose. The thing is though, Scott Quigg didn't make weight, and then he refused to weigh himself the next day. So even though I think Valdez, they gave him the option, like, you could just not take it. And he's like, no, I'm going to take it. He should have not taken it, in my opinion, because it was raining anyway. Like, it was a shitty-ass day. But I feel like he's so disciplined and so prepared and he wanted to test himself.
Yeah.
But Quigg was actually 142.5 that night.
And I'm going to play this video, what happened. So Oscar Valdez was 24-0. He's 24-0 now, but Scott Quigg came in 3 pounds over the weight limit. And they actually told Valdez if you want to fight or not. So this is what Valdez has. And then some other fighter, in this case, Canelo.
At the weigh-in, but then on fight night, he was 142.5.
Yeah, but at the weigh-in, he was 3 pounds. So then you mentioned
and then the
that.
next day, instead of being like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to go, like, get in a sauna right now or something, he's just like, nope, I'm not going
to.
Yeah.
You can tell. But he talks about when he broke his jaw, watch.
Those pounds weren't going to make a difference. I was going to win no matter what. What do you remember about the 5th round? I remember exactly the moment where he broke my jaw.
A big right by Scott Quigg, and Valdez has to hold on.
I felt that right hand. I knew right away my jaw was broken. I couldn't feel my jaw from my chin to my ear. I went back to the corner when that round finished, and I would be lying if I say I wasn't scared. So I kept on thinking, like I said, who was going to stop the fight, or the doctor's going to stop the fight. I don't want to ever lose. Just took it round by round.
And the mouth of Oscar Valdez continues to bleed.
Have some tea on that later.
Kept on thinking, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the smart thing to continue?
Yeah.
But every single punch I would get hit, it would hurt more and more. Somehow, I managed to go through all that pain. I just kept on thinking, just be the smarter fighter. Don't let them know that you have your jaw broken.
Damn.
But in the 10th round, I remember me hugging him, and he puts his hands on my face and tries to push me. What he really did was broke it even more. Him, without knowing, pushed my jaw more and cracked it more. I heard it crack. And I kept on thinking to myself, well, it's a little bit more broken now.
The way Oscar Valdez's mouth is now open.
And you're about to hear Canelo
This kid's
talk right
fighting for
now.
Something special.
What did you see in Oscar when he fought through a broken jaw?
No, pues carácter, ¿no? Carácter y muchos pantalones, como decimos en México. Un guerrero arriba del cuadrilátero y pues es ahí donde se ve, ¿no? Cuando tienen valentía.
What kept you going?
En México no se dice pantalones, se dicen huevos. No? But I think he said, I didn't want them to know. Everyone knew. Me and Cynthia Conte ringside, we looked at each other, we're like, why? His mouth is like wide open, it's broken, and we kept seeing him bleed. Like literally, his mouth was bleeding, and it's like, I don't get. I mean, obviously the adrenaline, and even though he said it hurt, he's like, I didn't want them to know. Pretty sure everyone knew. Like his mouth was just hanging open. But fuck, it's true. How do you even? And the fact that he's not even like, I wanted to quit or anything. He's like, I was worried somebody would stop the fight. Like, goddamn, dude, like that's balls right
Mexican
there.
style.
That's balls. But another guy that needs to get defense, in my opinion, which is why I think they put him with Canelo's team.
Yeah.
But
that's actually very fucking scary, man. Just
if
having your jaw just out there, like
imagine,
another like clean shot on there. Fuck.
Because in his last, he was having like nice KOs, but then even against who's the guy that
You can't even
Lomachenko
bite
fought?
down and go forward, dude. You can't bite down.
The guy that Lomachenko fought, what's his name? The one that he fought.
Pedraza?
No, the one that fought Valdez too. Mariaga. With Mariaga, he dropped him, but he had a little bit more. He won the 12 rounds for the first time in like 5-6 fights. Against Genesis Cervania, he got dropped in the 5th or the 6th. I don't remember, but he got stunned and got saved by the bell. But luckily, he came back and got Cervania down on the next round, so he was able to win that fight. Yeah. And then now against Quigg, Quigg was fucking huge, but it's still, you see him getting hurt and then hurt, and then it's you could tell that it was his defense. So
Yeah.
So you guys want to
hopefully-
take that fight against Quigg? Like, if he's that heavy?
No, fuck
I don't think
that.
I would
That's
either. I'm like,
dangerous.
fuck that. You're not
Yeah.
like,
And
you're
then
not
you-
respecting the weight class, first of all, and then
Yeah.
you're not respecting the sport.
And you're fighting for the belt. Supposedly you came all the way down here for the WBO belt, and then you don't make weight. The fuck you coming all the way down here for?
Yeah.
3 pounds? Fuck that.
Man, now respects to fucking Valdez, because we've seen other fighters with the broken jaws, and they've
And that
They-
fight,
Victor Ortiz. No.
yeah, that fight happened in March of last year.
yeah
So he's been away for how many months?
And who broke his jaw?
yeah.
Victor Ortiz?
Josecito.
The Lopez.
Josecito
The thing
Lopez.
is, if you follow Valdez on Instagram, that shit would just trip me the fuck out, because he would have his fucking jaw wired shut,
Yeah.
and his ass was still jogging and running out in Nogales in his fucking rancho. I'm like, bro, get some fucking rest.
Man.
And he's up jogging in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that tells you all you need to know about that guy.
You guys are all
Yeah.
watching, right?
Hell fucking
That's the second fight, and then the third fight, Teofimo Lopez
Ooh.
versus Diego
Yeah.
yeah.
Madiano.
That's gonna be.
Tell us
great.
about this fight, because I have a video that I want you guys to hear. But he's 11-0, 9 knockouts.
Man.
Tell us about this
what
guy.
What can you say about Teofimo, man? Like, I feel like every fight you're expecting to see, like, a big shot, Magdalena's a good fighter, but, I don't think he's ever reached, like, Teofimo's, Lopez's level, so.
And he's fought Terry Flanagan, and
Yeah.
he lost. Since then, he's been 3-0. So
Yeah.
he's coming in. What we want Teofimo is to have experience, right? Because all he
Yeah.
does is knock out people. But what do you think about Lopez?
I think Lopez is probably the best prospect. But I like
Mhm.
Virgil Ortiz a lot too. But
Yeah.
from Top Rank, especially because he got more exposure
Yes.
through
Mhm.
Top Rank than any other prospect besides Ryan Garcia. But he's a really top prospect. And like you said, yes, Magdalena's a really nice, Mexican style fighter. But at the same time, I don't think he ever reached his peak. Or if
Yeah.
that was his peak, I don't think it was impressive enough
Mhm.
to kind of wow anybody.
Mhm.
As fucked up as that sounds, but I think it's still going to be a really good test for Teofimo. And a lot of people in Twitter and online are circulating comments like, "Oh, I hope Teofimo loses just for teach him how to be humble."
Yeah.
And that's all. That's the narrative that I keep hearing. Like, oh, he needs to learn how to be humble. Because remember we talked about it, how a
His
los golpes too
celebrations.
were like
Yeah.
butthurt about it. I don't see what's wrong with
Yeah,
it,
I
but
don't see what's wrong with this. He's just trying to cater to a younger audience.
And I think that's
Yeah.
where I'm trying to come up with that part. So we always talk about boxer trainers, right? About the
Mhm.
relationship between their dads.
Yeah.
Well, allow me to introduce you Teofimo Lopez Sr.
oh, he's
So
like Angel.
he's like Angel.
Oh, easy.
And let me play an interesting soundbite that he says. So hold on to your laugh as much as you can with what he
He's
says.
saying that he's gonna be like the
Alright.
best.
Get ready.
boxer.
Strong. He knows it too, man. Well, last fight he told Lomachenko I'm taking over the show, and he did it. He had like about 8 million views on YouTube.
You got 8 million views? That's badass.
I had like on Instagram I had like almost close to 3 mil.
That's crazy for saying that you're taking over.
Nah, for the take down the Fortnite dance.
What?
My celebration.
The celebration day.
After my fight.
Were you were jumping?
Yeah, when I was doing my thing.
No, take the L. It's a game that everybody plays.
No,
Not
Fortnite.
only we have the boxing fans down, we also have the nerds down. All the kids that play all those games. So we bringing in a different crowd into boxing.
Mikey.
Hey, you know what? It's
Yeah.
true because Aiden loves Teofimo Lopez just because
Yeah.
of the Fortnite dances.
I don't know. I'm lost.
Okay, so.
But his dad, like, if you see any post-fight interview with Teofimo, his dad is like right there and he's like throwing his little 2 cents in. And it's
Yeah,
a
first of
little bit
all,
weird.
I've never seen Teofimo's dad, but he sounds entertaining.
He sounds angelish.
Yeah, angelish, and to me, that's you need that kind of entertainment. Whether it's whatever, but it sounds funny. So they're talking about Teofimo's celebration after every fight. He celebrates a Fortnite dance, and that caters. No, that's gonna you don't care, but that caters to a younger audience, and if he's pulling in people, it's marketable.
He is marketable. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because he's already gonna be on the undercard of Terrence Crawford on pay-per-view. So a lot of people you're in mainstream in ESPN, now you're gonna be in pay-per-view. So it's like they're setting him up, and this is what Golden Boy in this case Oscar wanted. He wanted HBO to have that plot line where you could have a fighter, like in this case, Ryan Garcia being HBO pay-per-view, but also have some sort of mainstream boxing, like in Fox or in ESPN, to develop that fighter for the mainstream. But that didn't work. In this case, Teofimo Lopez can get sponsorships right through ESPN, build them up through pay-per-view. So they're cropping him up really good.
Yeah.
And then the main event, Alvarez versus Kovalev. And have all three of you watched that fight before?
Yes.
I seen the highlights of
Because I think what's one thing that's notable about that fight is that before the 7th round happened, that's when he lost. One of the judges had a 58-56 for Kovalev.
They all had it for Kovalev.
Yes, and then the other two judges had it 59-55 for Kovalev.
Yeah.
But then all hell.
Kovalev was dominating with that jab. And the thing about Kovalev is a lot of people call him, the crusher because of his fucking power, but people are underrating his actual boxing ability because he has a really nice fucking jab, and he uses the jab to set up the right hand, that the overhand right that just fucking knocks you the fuck out. But we all know that after those 2 consecutive losses against Andre Ward, he's not the same. He's not the same mentally, and apparently he hasn't been the same training in the gym. So it's really, this is why I think this fight is so intriguing, even though usually rematches are not as popular as the first. I think this one should be more popular than the first because we know that Kovalev was winning in the scorecards, and he even had Alvarez a little hurt in the previous round. So it's like, okay, Crusher can put him to sleep at any minute. Actually, no, any minute before the fucking 6th round, because after that, the more punishment he takes. So the longer the fight goes, the more prone he is to getting caught. Yeah. And I feel like because of that, I still think Alvarez beats him again and into retirement.
What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. After the Andre Ward fight, Kovalev just has like that doubt that he didn't have before. He was running through everybody. He was intimidating fighters before they even got into the ring. That was one source of his, what people thought was his invincibility, thing going, and that's gone now. So,
do you want to talk about what's going on outside the ring for Kovalev?
Yeah, it's actually the reason why I don't fucking want to be his fan anymore. I have a hat of a fucking Kovalev that I'm like gonna throw in the fucking trash.
You really liked him, huh?
I really liked him.
Like 3 shows ago.
I loved him. Like I loved him inside and outside the ring, but because I didn't know, obviously, what the fuck he was doing. But I just really liked that he had like a very charismatic personality at every interview with Max. And like Chris said, he had, he would play mind games and scare guys because Stevenson never was going to fight him. Yeah. And I feel like because of Stevenson, to me, no offense, like I'm glad he recovered. But because he never fought anybody, I feel like Crusher was basically undisputed at one point. And he was number 3 pound for pound. So to me, I really liked him. I thought he was like the best light heavyweight in a long time, the hardest puncher in the division. But now that there's all these accusations that he actually punched a woman. I actually posted about that.
Yeah,
he supposedly he went to her cabin and because she refused to have sex with him, he not only attacked her, but the report saying what she's reporting is that he kicked her dog. Dang. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what a dick. He kicked her dog too, not just her. So she's suing him for $8 million. Dang. Because she had a concussion, broken nose, and I don't remember what else. And the thing is that a lot of people are like, oh, allegedly, but it's just like, okay, she has pictures of like earlier that day in Big Bear. Like she was out there. She has a picture with her dog in Big Bear, like just chilling. And then that night is when Crusher apparently attacked her because she wouldn't have sex with him. And the thing is that what's fucked up is that the girl, she just came out. I mean, she came out with it a couple of weeks ago, but just posted like some more accusations today after Crusher posted happy birthday to his wife. And that's when she said, oh, it's because I wouldn't let him have sex with me. And it's just like, I know, again, a lot of people are like, oh, you got to separate the boxer from the ring. But not really. Not. I don't think so. It's like, you can just, no one's saying like, oh, don't do weird shit. Sometimes don't drugs and shit, whatever. Do whatever. But that's like being a piece of shit, in my opinion. And I feel like if he gets knocked the fuck out, I would welcome that. And I would feel like he deserves it.
Yeah, I think there are certain things that you can separate in their personal lives, but hitting a woman and kicking a dog, yeah.
I know,
that's
kicking a
inexcusable.
dog, bro.
That's inexcusable.
Fuck, that shit fucked me up. I'm like, a dog?
Yeah.
What the fuck did dog ever do to you, asshole? That shit was crazy. She said, I hear that he's denying on his social media that he punched me in the face. I'm curious as to how he explains the fact that I suddenly wound up with shattered nose, an open head wound, a concussion, and 2 spinal injuries when he was standing 3 feet away from me in the living room of my own cabin, infuriated because I wouldn't have sex with him so much that he had just viciously kicked my dog. And there's an eyewitness who saw the whole thing. Nice try, Crusher. Fortunately, he's facing felony assault charges, and I'm also suing him for $8 million. So, one way or another, I suspect the truth will come out. Sadly, I know all too well what it's like to get punched in the face by him. Only when he hit me, he wasn't wearing gloves.
Damn.
It's sad, bro.
You want to go over
We'll see
predictions
where
of the
that
fight?
goes, man.
Predictions for this fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna end by knockout.
By who?
Teofimo Lopez fight?
For the main event,
Yeah.
it's gonna end by knockout. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think so. Either way, I think it ends in a knockout.
Yeah, but it's a great card for ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a
Yeah.
bomb.
What I think what people are like a little bit mad about is that they have to like shuffle through like or transition through. They're gonna start through ESPN or ESPN Deportes, and then the Teofimo and the Kovalev fight is gonna be ESPN Plus. So people are like, oh, why can't I just put it all in one? You know, just
Yeah.
ESPN or
Yeah.
ESPN. But I think that's the only complaint. But other than that, I think it's
It's a pretty solid
shit.
card. Yeah.
Even if you don't want to subscribe to, just fuck it. Make a
Yeah.
fake email and sign up or whatever. Again,
but the
Free
main
trial.
event is
get
gonna be on
another
regular,
free
right?
trial. Yes, Valdez is gonna be on regular, and
I thought
yeah.
I think
thought it
all
would've
those
been smart
fights.
to
I
put it
think
on
all those
ESPN
fights
Plus.
maybe
No, it's
because I saw ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus all together.
no, it's not gonna be together. They're gonna have the first, like what they do at like the other fights. They have like the less popular ones on even ESPN 3.
Yeah.
And then they go to ESPN.
Because they're all
They
popular.
do that.
All those forums.
They do that all the
Yeah.
time. So I feel like this now they're just putting Crusher and Alvarez and Teofimo in ESPN Plus, and then the other ones on regular ESPN. And it's weird because that fight's gonna be in the East Coast at midnight.
Which one?
Damn.
No, that one's in Texas.
Yes,
Frisco.
but that's why. But the East Coast time, that's
Yeah,
midnight.
it's still 2 hours.
Wait, so what's the start time in?
Here it's 9. Here
Starting-
it's
no, there's
9.
like 11, I think. 11 or 12.
Shit.
And then
Yeah.
East,
Yeah,
like,
it's 2 hours.
so people were like, oh, that's weird because
Well, everybody's gonna be indoors in the East Coast. You seen that vortex that's happening right now?
Yeah,
shit.
it's bad out
So
there.
good
East
times
Coast
for
people always
sports.
get
Can't relate.
screwed.
Yeah.
The Vegas fights start like at 8:39.
Yeah, and you have
midnight
to wait
over
for that
there.
Wilder fight. Anything that you want to take away from this ESPN card? That's
I
it.
hope
No,
they keep
it's-
it up.
Yeah, I hope they keep it up, man. Yeah, to follow up with this weekend's. Yeah.
All right. So I'll just go over all these topics, and then you guys could talk about them, like whatever. So last week I was talking about the zone showing their pockets, whether or not how these fighters get paid. So I was talking about, how much does such and such get paid,
Mhm.
right? So last Friday we found out that Daniel Jacobs will be making $15 million for the Canelo fight, and then the next 2 fights afterwards, because he signed a 3-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing, he'll be making the minimum of $4 million per fight. So he could be making more money depending on who he fights. So if he fights Triple G, so his highest pay I believe was against Triple G, 1.75 million. So he's making a lot of money with the zone, right? Speaking of the zone, Eddie Hearn, he signed Soren B-side,
Yeah.
multi-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing. Now, to me, this sets up a beautiful fight. Do you know what fight I'm talking about?
Estrada too, right?
Nope.
No.
Well, that one's already under negotiations, probably
Okay.
April or May, and right here at the Step Up.
What's the dream fight for Soren B-side?
With the zone fighter. I don't know if maybe I'm stretching
Super
it. But am I thinking of somebody in the
Super
Super
lightweight?
6
Super flyweight.
tournament? I'm saying the monster. No, ain't no way.
Oh my
coming up.
God, that's fucking boxing porn right there. Oh my.
Yeah, if he comes
God.
up, oh,
That'll
man,
be like the Dragon Ball Z movie. You're
Right?
like,
That's-
you're watching, dude.
I would fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. So that's what I dream.
Please make it happen. I would fucking.
Yeah.
oh my
So
God.
keep an eye on that. don't screw this one up, Eddie Hearn, because he
Yeah.
screwed it up with Amir Khan and Kell Brook. So hopefully he gets these two
This
to
guy's
fight.
the only one trying to watch that fight.
Gio.
Damn.
And
Say
then-
Kell Brook one more time, dude. I
We'll
swear.
say his name.
Fucking
Kell
swear,
Brook.
dude. God damn.
You say his
Hell.
name 3 times, the
Fucking
fight will
name.
happen.
God damn, man.
He's still waiting.
Fuck is
With
this?
both of your eye sockets closed.
Yeah, if you say both the names three times, the magician makes them both appear
Yeah.
and sign.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. And another DAZN news: Jaime Munguia will be fighting on April 13. I don't know who he fights.
TBD still.
To be decided.
I'm glad that
I'll
at least
probably
he's
fight
staying
him.
busy again.
Yeah, he's staying busy.
Yeah. It's the thing, right?
Young
DAZN
man.
is making their fighters like,
You kind of have
You
to
fight.
stay busy.
you
yeah.
fight. You
Yeah.
fight tomorrow.
All right,
Um,
you good? All right, you fight next week.
Yeah. So this fight against Alvarez and Kovalev, they're already setting up the mandatory fight already. And the winner, we're finally going to get to know him now. Anthony Yarde is the... Yes.
To the winner of those two,
Yes.
Oh,
He's the
wow.
mandatory for this
That's pretty badass.
WBO.
and we kind of have a
Yes.
special interest in that one just because we know.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim
and-
Jones?
Yep.
Antonio
Yeah.
Simon, future opponent.
And speaking of magic, right? Another news, 175 tournament. I'm telling you, this tournament is going on and nobody actually pays attention to it. Barrera versus Artur Bertibi are going to be
Artur
scheduling to fight.
Burnaby. What?
Yes.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Burnaby versus Barrera?
Barrera.
Oh, hell no,
Yes.
Barrera gonna fucking die.
Yes. And then the other guy, Alexander Gosek, will be fighting in March 30. I don't know against who.
Man, the light heavyweight division is fucking bomb right
I'm
now.
telling
Yeah,
you.
I'm
I've been telling you since
Awesome.
Thanksgiving,
It
bro.
gets no love, but yeah.
I'm telling you.
One guy on Twitter called Vosdick Ghost Dick, and I've never been able to unhear it. Now that people say
Ghost
Vosdick,
Dick.
I just hear Ghost Dick every time. Oh my god. But I love him.
Goes
anyway.
like the way.
So now we have that, and then we have Gio's thing with Broner. What is it about? What's the
What?
What's the
Ass
song?
beat.
What about it?
Got his ass beat?
Yeah, so that's in my mind
That
now.
one's in my head too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last news is Wilder versus Fury. That fight's supposed to be happening at Barclays,
I don't know what's
Mm.
mine.
either April 27 or May 18. What's interesting about that is that whether or not you want to mess up ESPN's pay-per-view or do you want to take some limelight away from Canelo against Jacobs. Either way, I think there's going to be some money being lost in that fight because of that.
Wait, when is it?
Either April 27 or May 18.
Oh yeah, pay per
Oh
view.
yeah,
right
because
before
people,
Canelo's.
people are gonna want to either go to also and pay for.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
That's that.
I mean, but Canelo isn't really pay per view anymore,
That's
right?
$10.
So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
$10.
It's $10.
That's $10. That's nothing. I mean, we'll see how it affects it if they do pick that date. But it's only $10. You excited for any of those? No.
Yeah, I think Anthony Yarde. I haven't seen him fight yet, but I think that's the reason why we're talking about him
Yeah.
because more than likely Anthony Sims will have a.
So
He'll meet his maker.
So I've seen Yarde fight once, and I
Yeah.
was impressed how he went to the body. And this is before we met Antonio Simon. But every time we bring him up, or the times that we brought him up, you saw Anthony Sims get very serious.
Yeah.
You know, he likes to joke and be relaxed, but when we brought him up, he was serious. Like,
Yes.
yeah, so he knows that guy is in his future, especially because he has a big following in the UK, and so that's a fight that they want out there.
Yeah, but that's the type of fight that will put you a number one pound for pound fighter for Soren B-side versus Enua.
Mhm.
That's the type of fight that, I'm not gonna mention those words, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's some fight that.
What
that's
words?
What was
Boxing
that?
porn?
There you go.
That Yarde fight is a fight I want to see with Gio, because I know Gio will see what he sees in this guy, and then he'll keep it real with Antonio Simon. He'll probably be like, "Gotta work on this. Oh, you gotta watch out for this."
Yeah.
He keeps it pretty real with Simon. So
You have anything to add on?
To
I
what?
don't have anything else to add on, or if you want to bring up anything in the world. Oh.
the signing, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How'd you miss
Which one?
What signing?
No, go. I have some others, but go ahead. Bring it
the
up.
Triple G signing?
Oh, I haven't heard anything.
Oh, you
about that.
haven't?
No. You know that last time, this past week, I had two people texting me about who has Triple G signed with.
Mm-hmm.
But forget that news, dude. Amder Maris.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Man,
I know Gio's so
I'm so
sad.
sad. I was sad. I'm just like, man.
So where were you?
Were you in the toilet?
Well, let's talk about the modest thing.
It was as soon as I woke up, I saw that shit. And
Mm.
since I knew that something was up because last night Gervonta tweeted, "What the fuck, man?" and with like a little like annoyed face, and he was like subtweeting weird shit, and I'm like, okay, this can't be good. And then in the morning, as soon as I woke up, I saw from Mares he had posted like this fucking essay on his stories, and I'm like, oh well, this can't be good. And it wasn't announced until like way later once they had found another opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel the frustration from both guys, I guess, because Mares wanted to, like, I guess, prove people wrong and defend his legacy, as he had said. And it must suck because now people are going to be like, oh, he just didn't want to get knocked the fuck out. Everyone's going to say that. And then with Gervonta, it's more of a thing that I think he felt, even though he was going to knock out Mares, it was like a nice, legit opponent with a good resume to have on your resume.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's frustrating for him, too, because it's like, okay, finally I have this guy that's, like, a nice name.
Do you have tickets?
No, I was
Did
gonna.
you buy tickets, Chris?
No.
I was gonna get
Am I
credentials.
hearing right that they're not giving refunds?
No, I think that's illegal.
Oh, okay.
First of all,
I was just making sure because I heard
No, I think
a lot
that's
of outlets.
illegal.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like it must suck for him too because remember, I don't know, were you guys there at the press conference where they're like, oh, a bunch of celebrities are gonna be coming out because there's like an award weekend in LA.
No.
And like they kept saying that. They kept saying how there was gonna be all these celebrities coming, and I believe it too.
Yeah.
But now, do you think they're gonna be coming
There's
with
nobody
this
coming
fight?
now. Mm-mm.
That StubHub website's gonna be popping, huh? People trying to sell their tickets.
Yeah, you know, so
Real.
it's just. I mean, the good thing is that now I'm probably gonna. I told you guys, if you guys want to go to Fantasy Springs, that's a good fucking card. Machado, Jojo Diaz, at Fantasy Springs. It's just far, but it's a good fucking card.
We can interview Freddie again.
March?
No, that same night.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday?
I already turned in my
I didn't care about that fight.
credential request to go to that fight instead. Now that because no offense, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Gervonta anymore. I wanted to see Gervonta Mares.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to see it because, I mean, all the Hispanic fans that come out.
Oh, yeah,
excited.
with their beards.
You know.
And their I was going to get my mom and dad and everybody else tickets because, you know, it's one of those fights. That
it's another one, too. Back to back. First, it was Leo Santa Cruz, and now it's Jake Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Both of their
opponents
you heard
got
about this,
injured.
right?
Yeah.
PBC. Damn, yeah, but
Hey, we can get them Leo tickets for really cheap. Should go.
I think you can, dude. In
Especially
fact,
the day of.
yeah, you could probably get them for free.
The day
That's
of.
how bad it
For
is,
free?
dude.
Day of? Man.
You check that out.
Tom Lothar gave me tickets to Superfly.
Dang.
You can go?
No, I was credentialed, but I'm like, hey,
Oh.
can I have to? He's like, yeah. And he's like, pick him up.
Dope.
I will call. I picked
There
him
you
up. I
go.
will call. I gave him to my friend.
Yeah, but it sucks for Davis because he hasn't fought since April.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It must be frustrating as fuck to him. Like, this sucks. He hasn't fought since April of last year. And this was a legit opponent. Well, in name, at least, as
Yeah,
most people
name.
want to think. And now it's like, okay, now he has to fight a fucking super bantamweight guy.
Yeah, and I think that kind of threw me off with Mares and Davis thing. That conversation on Instagram was the fact that Mares was talking about a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you're hiding or you're like scared to fight Davis."
Chickened
But
out.
then the only news source that I could trust in this situation was ES News, because you know Ellie always follows
and he's
the
in-
Garcia. So I
he's
went
at
to
the
look
Garcia.
at the last video
Yeah.
that Robert Garcia was talking about Mares. This was back in Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen no single video of him talking about Mares since Saturday. So that's what, a couple, like 4 days. So something must have happened in between those
Yeah.
days.
I mean, because I was there. We were talking about the fight, and they were talking about adding bleachers.
Talk
like,
about that, man. How was it?
So, yeah.
You went to the RGBA.
Went to the
Boxing
RGBA.
Academy.
I didn't go to work
Riverside.
yesterday. Called off. Used one of my
Fuck work.
sick days.
Mm.
I saw that on social media. It was Robert Garcia's birthday. So I was like, you know what? Okay.
Let's go take him
Let's
his
go.
birthday cake.
¿Te
Let's
fuiste
go.
antes de que llegara la banda?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god, my
Wow.
friend was
So-
How
there
long
and then
were
he
you
posted
there?
the banda and I'm like, I
I
didn't
was
see
there
the
for,
banda
like-
in your fucking stories.
I was there for like 3 hours, and they were just
What?
waiting for Mikey to get there. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I got there. Robert was there chilling. Me abrió Pita. At first, like, have you been there, Lily, to that gym?
Mhm.
It's just his house. So at
It's
first I was,
literally his house.
yeah.
His horses are there.
yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
When I first got there, I was like, man, am I in the right place? Like, where's the gym at? It's like it's como
You're
una
gonna call
granja.
it cops on me for
a
trespassing?
huge fucking garage.
Yeah,
like
it's a huge garage.
But they have
It's
air
tight.
conditioning.
Yeah, no,
Other
it's
gyms
nice.
don't got that shit.
Yeah, so I went in there, like, told Robert, hey, man, like, I was in, happy birthday, man. He's like, oh, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. And so, yeah, we were talking about Ellie. Obviously, Ellie was there, like, freaking getting everybody, doesn't let nobody breathe, but, yeah. But, yeah, so we were talking about Mades, and they were like, oh, yeah, they're adding bleachers because it's packed. Like, tickets
This was
are selling
yesterday?
out. This was yesterday. Yeah.
That's the thing.
He probably kind of already knew, but like maybe like it wasn't official yet.
Yeah.
Maybe Maris hadn't told him yet.
They're not gonna tell you
because
they're not gonna tell
they're
you.
not gonna
but
tell
the
me.
thing is that like I honestly don't think he's scared or because
Yeah, I
not
don't
only
think
was
so.
No, I
it
don't
was
think so.
Nah.
injuries are fucking real. People just want to be assholes,
Yeah.
but at the same time, this was a nice money fight. I think.
Yeah.
They were gonna make nice money from tickets, like from the viewers. I think it was gonna be a good fight, and I don't think he would just. First of all, he's the one that sought out that fight. He wanted the fight.
Yeah.
He called to get the Gervonta fight. So why would he chicken out? And I don't think people fucking use their fucking brains to realize that. No, why would he do that? I honestly don't believe he's scared or chickened out.
Supposedly he needs surgery, huh?
I
it
haven't
was his
read
elbow,
that.
right?
I've been here
Exactly.
since 8
Something
a.m.
like that,
I
I
have no
saw.
fucking clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, but.
Well,
¿Por qué te fuiste hasta que llegara la banda?
Oh no, because I was gonna go spend time with my nephews. Either way, so like I think I was there from like 2 to I want to say 5, and I told my nephews I was like I'm only gonna be here. I was like so what's that? Like I told my sister-in-law I was only gonna be there for like an hour and a half, and ended up being there longer. So I was like, fuck, I gotta go with my nephews. So
you learned anything from being there yesterday?
there's a lot of good characters in there. Something I noticed is like, yeah, these guys nobody knows who they are, but like their personalities.
The little white kid was there?
Like, no, he wasn't there, but I know who you're talking about. But there was some other ones, but I interviewed one of them, Alejandro. He's one of Mikey's sparring partners. Very charismatic kid. Good. I think he's 6 foot, lengthy. They brought him in because he kind of emulated Errol's, body, his length, his height. So that's what they brought him in for.
So did you saw Mikey Garcia?
I saw
Spar?
Mikey, not spar.
Oh.
I had to leave by then, but
But did you saw him? Like,
I saw him.
how did he look?
He looked. Oh yeah, so
Was he cute?
he looked a little bit stockier, not as
did he
big as I
look?
expected him, to be. But now he's getting bigger,
Yeah.
and so he said that the next 3 weeks they're gonna go hard in their sparring, and they're gonna keep building that muscle. But yeah, he looks good. He looks confident for sure. But yeah, it's funny because he pulled in with they were playing basketball out there. He pulled in with his truck. He's all like, all right, guys, this is a fucking boxing gym. Basketball time is over. But yeah, no, cool guy.
Wow.
But, yeah, no, he looks focused, man. Yeah, I'm starting to not be so doubtful with Gio's prediction, man. Yeah.
Should have told him, hey, I think you're getting knocked out.
Damn, you're fucked up.
But
Que es que lo corran ahí luego.
for real, man. I'm trying to build rapport with these
Yeah.
guys.
Reporting?
For real.
Stop it.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Ellie was there. Like I from his videos, I've always felt like he was kind of annoying, and I see why people think he's annoying.
Oh.
But he's all right. He's all right.
He's
not
entertaining.
He's not too bad. Not as
I
bad
think
as
the
I
best
thought.
thing about his videos too is that you get literally, it's like a reality show.
Yeah.
You watch every interaction. It is not just boxing, and I think that's what, works. People don't want to just see a guy prepared to answer questions,
Yeah.
have shit
Yeah.
ready to say, because
And
they know the questions are coming, and here's
Yeah.
like they're just talking. They're normal.
I think the fact that he doesn't know too much about boxing kind of helps him because
It
everybody
does.
has the same generic questions over
Yeah.
and over and over again. He'll just throw a random ass question out there,
Yeah.
and the
Sometimes
fighters
they
seem to
laugh at
enjoy
him.
it.
Yeah. And honestly, he it sounds like he doesn't know a lot about boxing, but when he's off the camera, he actually does. No lie. I think he sounds dumb like on the camera, but no, like off the camera, like we were talking about certain
So it's como
fights.
tú, güey.
We were talking about certain fights, and he was like giving some points. I was like, in
He
my
was
head, I was
giving
like,
you all the analytics, right? The
yeah.
copy
No, I was
box
like,
numbers.
oh, no está tan menso como pensaba.
Probably
Like,
he probably just repeated after Robert, dude.
no, he knows his stuff. It's all right. But yeah,
All right, yeah. So, yeah, Saturday is going to be a good fight. Hopefully, I'm able to try to catch it. If not, I'm probably going to be on the go and just watching it on my phone.
that's why ESPN.
ESPN Plus.
we'll see those fights.
Anything?
Anything else?
You want to close it off, Gio, with Adrien Broner's song again, or?
I was gonna send some shout outs. You want to plug your ChicanoBoxing.com?
Yeah, ChicanoBoxing.com. I just posted a preview for Kovalev Alvarez, and then just check it out. ChicanoBoxing.com.
ChicanoBoxing on Instagram. I'll put all that stuff up on a video. Want to send some shout outs to the Wolfpack Roundtable. We're probably gonna do some Super Bowl stuff with them. Any predictions for Super Bowl?
I just want to win my square, honestly. I have money on that, so.
I don't even know what that is, but yeah. Guess we're sticking to the Rams, right? LA?
I don't know how I feel about that, man. Like, everybody's
Just
like,
go with it, though.
everybody's like on the bandwagon all of a sudden.
That's cool.
I seen like a donut shop just open up last week with their colors. I'm like, smart, but really? Like, all of a sudden? But yeah.
Where at?
That's all it takes.
Somewhere near Inglewood. Yeah. But
Did you go to that one gas station again?
never again. I'm going to take Chris, like, our 1 year anniversary.
Field trip?
Some filter, make it a yearly tradition.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna make sure you have gasoline in that car
Every
That way you
time.
can run. I don't have to push
Man.
that car if I have to. That was
Look
crazy.
how far we've come.
I feel safe now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to shout out Beat the Count. He always be having an interesting
Yeah, he does.
guests on the show. I was watching his last one. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I want to shout out KDHR. Thank you guys for this platform. Check them out on your favorite social network, whatever thingy.
Of your preference.
Frankie, what was he the president of?
SASJ,
right?
Journalism Club at Dominguez Hills.
Yeah, shout out to them. He said he was having an event coming up, right?
Yeah,
So
he's got a
we'll talk
World
about
Press
that.
Freedom Day, and that's where they bring in some named journalists from the industry and try to educate students on things that are going on in the world of journalism, some of the innovations and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a good event.
Let's go. We'll have him back.
Yeah.
I already told him he can't wear that shirt. He said it was all good. Told him not to talk about Charlo. He said, all right, cool, I'll try.
You can't be putting your fucking rules. It's a free space here.
Speaking of freedom of speech, right?
Right.
Yeah, shout out to all the British fans. There's some Premier League action today. Liverpool tied, still in first place. Man City lost. So Liverpool has a 5-point advantage now. Man U, I think, tied. Manchester United tied. Chelsea lost 4-0.
Yeah.
So it was a good day, man.
Didn't they lose to that team like last year, like 3-0 or something?
Possibly.
Man.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. But yeah, and shout out to all the listeners. Thanks for listening. You guys know we don't know who God in them is, but nah, we don't know shit about boxing, but hopefully you guys are entertained.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Anything else you guys got?
Chris, any plugins?
No, nobody.
None.
Any birthdays, Chris?
Any birthdays? Man, there's birthdays all the time, but no. No. I'll save those for next week.
Me too.
All right, man. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Against the Ropes, number 1.
Number 1 against ropes.
One punch in the 12th round. I wonder if you really believe in your heart you actually won the fight.
Yeah, hell yeah, I believe I won the fight. Shit, when you believe that you want cheese on that burger,
What?
you know what you looking for. Hell yeah, I feel like I won, Dad.
Man, you got your ass beat, bitch. Man, you got your ass beat. You got your ass beat. AB stand for ass beat. You got your ass beat. You got your ass beat. Come on. You got your ass beat. AB stand for ass beat. Look. Boy, you got your ass beat. You ain't really fighting at all if you ask me. Talking all that gang shit last week. Almost got your ass knocked into the last seat. On behalf of Detroit, we need them bucks back. Let that nigga fuck you up and you ain't touch back. You ain't even pitch that nigga, fuck that. Soon as he hit you with the right, you was like, fuck that. The whole hood came out and you took an L. Putting that on God and them, man, you going to hell. That nigga Pacquiao was throwing them bitches fast as hell. Either that or you just really out here ass as hell. AB, man, you do a lot of talking, dog. I ain't even hear that nigga Manny talk at all. I'm just mad that you sit up here and lost the dog. But we all take them L's, nigga, walk it off. Man, you got your ass beat. Man, you got your ass beat. got your ass beat. AB stand for ass beat. You got your ass beat. You got your ass beat. Come on. You got your ass beat. AB stand for ass beat.
I beat it. Everybody out there know I beat it. I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. I did this for the hood. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. What they trying to do.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.